The year was 1974. The Zodiac had gone silent. For nearly 3 years, no new letters, no new murders, just silence that echoed louder than any gunshot. Detectives hoped the nightmare had ended, but deep down, none of them believed it. Evil rarely fades away. It husti this. Detective Toski sat alone in his car, watching the fog swallow the Golden Gate Bridge. The city slept, but his mind was wide awake. Every sound, every shadow reminded him of that single question that haunted his soul. Who was the Zodiac? He took a deep breath and opened a worn notebook. Names filled the page's suspects. Connections, letters, sketches, but still nothing solid. Every lead circled back into a maze of madness. He whispered to himself, "You're still out there, aren't you?" In March 1974, the San Francisco Chronicle received a strange letter, signed a friend. It mocked the police, calling them incompetent, and taunted them with the phrase, "Me 37, SFPD 20." The letter reignited old fears. The tone was different, but the cruelty felt familiar. Reporters rushed to the station. Headlines exploded again. Was the Zodiac back? Or was this just another imitator feeding on the legend? Toski compared the handwriting. Similar slants. Identical threats. But something didn't feel right. The Zodiac always craved the spotlight, but now his words felt hollow, almost like a ghost imitating itself. Then came an unexpected discovery. A journalist named Paul Avery, once targeted by the Zodiac himself, received an anonymous tip about a man in Riverside, California who might be connected to a murder that happened before the Zodiac's reign of terror even began. The 1966 killing of Sherry Jo Bates, brutally stabbed near the Riverside City College library, bore eerie similarities. A note found at the scene read, "She had to die. There will be more." Police in Riverside dismissed the Zodiac connection at first, but Avery and Toski weren't so sure. The handwriting, the taunting message, the cruelty, it all lined up too well. If Ethi was Eem, it meant the Zodiac had started years earlier than anyone thought. Every mystery needs a name, and this one had one that refused to disappear. Arthur Lee Allen. He was a former fired after disturbing incidents with students. He was known for his temper, his strange fascination with ciphers, and his obsession with hunting. When police searched his home, they found disturbing evidence. Zodiac-like symbols, weapons, and a wristwatch engraved with the brand name Zodiac. Coincidence? Maybe. But the coincidences piled up fast. He lived near several crime scenes. He owned the same type of boots that matched prints found at one murder. He even told friends he wanted to hunt people for fun. Still, there was one problem. The evidence was circumstantial. No fingerprints matched. No DNA. Nothing concrete. Allen became the prime suspect and yet, never the confirmed killer. By 1975, the Zodiac case had become a ghost story that haunted California. Dozens of detectives had tried and failed. Files piled high like tombstones of failed theories. New murders appeared, but none matched the Zodiac's area precision. Some believed he was dead. Others thought he had moved on, maybe even changed his identity. Detective Toski refused to give up. He followed every lead, every rumor, every whisper in the wind. But the more he searched, the more the mystery deepened. The letters had stopped, but the fear lingered, a shadow that never left the bay. Then, in December 2020, a group of codebreakers from around the world made a breakthrough. They had solved the Z340 cipher, one of the Zodiac's infamous unsolved codes. The message read, "I hope you are having lots of fun in trying to catch me. I am not afraid of the gas chamber because it will send me to paradise all the sooner. Because I now have enough slaves to work for me." Even after 50 years, his words sent chills down spines. The arrogance, the cruelty unchanged. It was as if the Zodiac had reached through time just to mock the world again. FBI agents reopened files. Digital forensics teams reanalyzed DNA from old envelopes. Hope sparked again, but just as quickly as it appeared, it dimmed. The DNA was partial, degraded, not enough for a match. The ghost of the Zodiac laughed once more. Untouchable, even by science. One retired detective said, "He didn't just kill people. He killed our sense of safety. He made us afraid of the dark again. Those who lived, like Brian Hartnell, who survived the brutal Lake Berryessa attack, carried scars that went far beyond the physical. Brian once said in an interview, he wore a mask, but I could feel his smile underneath it. That immediate faceless man smiling as he stabbed became one of the most haunting in American true crime history. For the families of victims like Darlene Ferrin and Betty Lou Jensen, time brought no closure. Their faces remained frozen in photographs, their names whispered in documentaries, their lives stolen by a man who wanted to be remembered as a myth. Even after all these years, the Zodiac's legend refuses to die. Every Halloween, every true crime forum, every late-night podcast, someone brings his name back to life. Who was he really? A lone genius? A madman? A police insider? The theories are endless. Some claim it was Alan. Others believe it was someone else entirely, maybe. Even multiple killers operating under the same name. Detective Toschi passed away in 2018, never finding the answer he'd spent his life chasing. But before he died, he said something that still echoes today. Maybe it's not about who he was. Maybe it's about what he became, a reflection of the darkness inside us all. And maybe Toschi was right. The Zodiac wasn't just one man, he became an idea. A monster born from human obsession, from fear, from the need to be remembered, no matter the cost. His crimes left an open wound in America's memory, a puzzle with missing pieces that may never be found. But somewhere, in an old box, in a dusty evidence room, the truth might still be waiting. A single clue, a forgotten fingerprint, a fragment of DNA, waiting to expose the man who thought he could hide forever behind a symbol. Until then, the question remains, who was the Zodiac Killer? The screen fades to black. Then, the faint echo of a typewriter begins. Click, click, click. The symbol appears. And then, do you believe the Zodiac Killer was ever truly caught? Or is he still among us, watching from the shadows? Tell us, what do you think? In the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, because in our next episode, we'll dive into another mystery that might change everything you thought you knew.